Hello everyone, Nate Lansing here. Welcome to another edition of Tuesday Tips. Today we will be talking about escalation clauses and what they are and how they can be used in multiple offer situations to potentially help a buyer win a bidding war. First of all, what is an escalation clause? Well, it's not this type of escalation.
Oh my God, that kid is sitting on the escalator again.
So what is an escalation clause? Well, it is a technique that buyers can use to try to win a bidding war by offering a certain amount over the highest offer. So for example, if a house is listed at $100,000, the buyer and the buyer knows that there's going to be a multiple offer situation, the buyer could then offer to beat the next highest offer by a certain amount, say $1,000 or $2,000, in order to end up being the highest offer. So say in that situation, the house is listed at $100,000. The buyer makes an offer with an escalation clause, and the highest offer comes in at $125,000. So if you offer $2,000 over, the buyer then would potentially win the multiple offer situation with an offer of $127,000. So what are some advantages to using an escalation clause? Well, most obviously, they can potentially help a buyer win a multiple offer situation. Secondly, say in the previous example, the house was listed at $100,000 and the buyer decides that they'd be willing to go up to $150,000 on this house. Well, if they use an escalation clause, like in our example, they beat the next highest offer by $1,000 or $2,000, they could end up getting the house for $127,000 or $130,000 or whatever, and not necessarily have to go all the way up to that $150,000 which they were willing to offer in the first place. Some cons to using an escalation clause in a multiple offer situation is one, many sellers and many sellers' agents do not like to will not allow buyers to submit escalation clauses. They want the highest and best offer right up front, none of this stepping up stuff. So in those situations, a buyer would have to go back, figure out what the absolute maximum they'd be willing to pay, what their highest and best offer is, and go ahead and make that and not use an escalation clause. Another reason sellers agents don't like to might not want to accept those in a multiple offer situation is usually a buyer will ask for proof of the next highest offer. You'd want to do that because you don't want to just assume that they got it, that the next highest offer was $125,000 and you end up paying $127,000. So you want to have some kind of verification of what that next highest offer was. Another reason could be that you're basically laying all your cards on the table. If you're willing to go up to $150,000, the listing agent or seller could go back to the other offers and see if they would beat that maximum number of yours, because they already know what your maximum number is. So you lose a little bit of negotiating power. But in my experience, I've had good luck with these escalation clauses. It's allowed people to win bidding wars and not necessarily go up to their max. So it's been a very effective tool for buyers in this type of crazy low inventory multiple offer market that we're in right now. So that's a quick rundown of what an escalation clause is in a real estate purchase agreement. If you have any questions about buying or selling or using a potential escalation clause in this market, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will be back next week with another episode of Tuesday Tips. In the meantime, if you could think of any questions that you might have about the real estate process, please let me know and I will do a video addressing it. Otherwise, everyone have a great week and stay cool out there. Thanks.